All right, welcome back to the I&Y podcast. Today, I got a new guest on today. Go ahead and introduce yourself, man.
What's up with it, man? Lloyd out of Long Beach.
To let the people know what you do.
Shit, man. I low ride. I got a couple, well-known low riders. I have the 2pac Live and Die in LA car. And then recently I acquired the 64 that was used in Nipsey Hussle's a hire video. That was just by coincidence.
Yeah.
When I bought the car off this dude named Compton Rick, I went out to Compton to get it. And there was a EQ in there he wanted to keep, but I didn't want him to keep it. So I just said, well, what's up? How much? And he told me a price. I said, all right, I'm going to take it. And then you just come to my pad tomorrow and pick up the loot. So when I gave him the money, he told me, oh man, you got another famous car. So I thought he was just joking around because, he does comedy and stuff like that. So I thought he was talking about himself.
Yeah.
And then he told me there was that car, so, Nipsey Hussle using that hire video. I was like, damn, oh, wow. So I ended up with two cars tied to good people. Neither one of them owned the cars. A lot of people get it twisted. I never said 2pac owned it. It's just the only one that's tied to 2pac, and it's the 2pac Live and Die in LA car. So,
Yeah.
Is what it is.
Yeah, that shit was pretty cool, man. Because when I was checking that out, I was, going through your Instagram page, I seen that, I was like, damn, that's pretty dope. You got like both of those artists, that used that car, that had passed away, or some shit, and that you got that, people recognize that shit, so that's pretty cool, that you get to use them now and shit, How did the 2pac one come about?
Man, that motherfucker was on Craigslist. Everybody in the game had a chance to buy it. You know what I mean? A bunch of people sent it to me, but I was just the only one that went out to Santa Maria and got it.
Really?
This older Mexican dude, he had it in his warehouse, and I just snatched it up from him.
Do you know like the whole story, like where that car came from and how 2pac and shit, got a hold of it?
So 2pac wanted to use a certain car. I don't know what his name was, but it was this gangster, and he had this nice '61 Impala that was yellow. And I'm sure the streets know who he was. Anyways, they wanted to use his car, so they sent, production over there to ask him to use it. His homies were out front. They like roughed up the dudes and sent them home. So when they went back to production, they told them what happened. So they went and rented a car from Miss Phyllis, which was my car's a 1961 convertible, but it was a teal green at that time. Like I forget what the fucking actual color was called, but
yeah,
they painted it yellow just for the video. Oh, and then they used it. And then not long after that, unfortunately, 2pac died. He got, the story of 2pac, obviously everyone does, but yeah, it wasn't long after. And if you ever notice that video, you see 2pac in the front seat with a Dodger shirt on, and it's orange. Well, he was wearing a blue one. And Suge and a blue Dodgers hat, and Suge didn't want him to have that on. So back then it was real hard. So they paid a bunch of money to have that shirt and that hat turned orange. If you know, there's no orange Dodger shirts.
Yeah, what the hell? No, I didn't even know that shit. But no, I knew that, the story was like Suge, being a blood and shit, but I did not know that he really paid that to get that shit out the video.
Yeah, another dude told me. When I bought the car, I got in contact with a bunch of people that hit me up through it. I've done videos with EDMI and Young Noble just, because of my car, and just developed a friendship with them. And then QD4, the one that did the beat for Live and Die in LA. There's a bunch of people that are like in on it, know the history of the car,
Yeah. That's pretty cool, man. Now you get to roll around in that shit.
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, back in the video, it was just all plain Jane original, and from that video being from LA, it made it iconic. But, the truth of it is the way that it looks now, that's all me. Yeah. When I see a car, I get a vision right when I see it. Like I just run through it every part, and whatever I come up with is what I do. And that's exactly what I saw with this car. I still got a little bit more to go, but this shit's never ending. You know what I mean?
That's what I was gonna say, man. That shit don't ever end, because then you think of some more shit. You're like, oh fuck, man, I gotta do this. I got buddies, that never finish their cars because, there's always more to do with it. You know what I'm saying? Because you get more visions and shit that you want to do with it.
You do. This shit is. I mean, for real, there's so much shit you can do to them, man. It really is never ending, dude. I mean, that's why I don't have any cash ever, because every time I get some money, I'll just throw it into my ride. You know what I mean? It's hard for me to save it just because I know, like, you know, last night I was sitting around and I ended up buying purple halos for my 61. Hang on one second. It's hot in this motherfucker.
Okay.
I don't know why in California somebody built these houses with no air conditioning.
What the fuck? How the fuck is that?
Yeah, they were tripping.
Yeah, no shit.
And it's funny, you can buy $1 million house and that bitch doesn't even have central air and heat.
Dude, that's fucking crazy. You would think
that they said it was a lot cooler back then all the time, but still, you gotta have air conditioning just to control your climate. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But what was you saying? You said you bought some purple halos?
Oh yeah, I bought some purple halos. I'm gonna throw on there. Just, you know, this being the 2Pac Live and Die in LA car, I wanted to throw that purple in there to give it that Lakers vibe. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Fuck yeah, that'll look nice.
So it's just a full LA car. It'd be hard for that car to ever go anywhere, you know?
Yeah, no shit. When did you get that car? What year?
I've had it for about 2 years now.
Damn, so recently.
Yeah, not that long. I usually run right through it. I built it back original, and then I had to redo it again because I was like trying to keep it like it was because it was the car, you know. But
yeah.
I didn't like it. I don't like to ride original cars. If I'm gonna ride an original, it's gonna be like a nice Lexus or a fucking, you know what I mean? Something nice, not like that, you know?
Yeah, I feel it.
Just driving an OG Impala to me, I mean, it's all right, you know what I mean? But if there's no switches, I ain't having no fucking fun.
Yeah, because then you ain't hopping around and doing all the 3-wheels and that shit, you know?
Yeah, I just, you know what I mean? I like to play. My 64 is about to be back. I should have it back in probably a week or two, I'd imagine.
What are they doing with that one?
It got hit on the front, dented it up a little bit, so it wasn't too bad. But I went ahead and got it chipped up some different paint, so I went ahead and got the whole car redone. Damn. It's all coming fresh paint. I got it really bright white, and then I got the Dodger blue pearl thrown in it. You know what I mean, or flake. I mean, so when the light hits it, it gives it a blue vibe. And then all my chrome, well, not all of it, but a lot of it, I got dipped in blue bandana.
Oh, so shit.
That's gonna be Hustle 6'4", a little tribute to Nipsey. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you got him, man. Because with that car that you did get with that he used, I mean, that really fit. You know the whole Nipsey vibe. You know, the blue and everything.
Yeah, without a doubt.
LA
and all that. Turn up. But everybody's wanting to use that car already. And then that green 63 I have, that has nothing to do with Easy. It just, I built it to look like Eazy-E's car. You know what I mean? And got the accessories to make it fit up to his because I wanted his car, but the guy wouldn't sell it. He didn't really have any interest in selling the car. So I was like, all right, fuck it. I'll just build my own. And mine's actually way nicer than his. I wish it used to be Easy's car. You know, Easy's my favorite of all time.
Yeah, to have that history up in that, you know?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Because when a lot of these, you know, these cars and lowriders and shit, do they, you know, that are in these major music videos, you know, from back in the day and, you know, from now, I mean, do they have do they go get passed around a lot, or the people that mainly own them just keep them?
Yeah, the people just keep them. I mean, it's rare to even find one, to be honest with you. The guy that has Hector's car, he's in like, from Friday, he's in like Kentucky. Yeah. Kentucky. Big Worms is in Japan.
Holy shit.
I can't even think. Nobody can find the hang on.
Smoking on some strong shit right there.
For real. This is some Jungle Boys. It's I forget what strain. Zach's Pie. Shit hit. But nobody can find that 61 that Suge built for 2Pac. I actually know where it's at.
You do?
I do. A dude hit me up on it and asked me if I wanted to maybe buy it. And just because he saw that I had the, you know, 2Pac Live and Die in LA card, and, you know, I have to keep my sources obviously quiet, but yeah, I'm trying to verify the VIN number to see maybe if I can get it verified, then I'll snatch it up. But it's not in the best shape, but it is what it is.
How do you get oh, go ahead.
He recently just sold the trunk off of it on Cali Boy.
Oh,
so
shit.
There's no trunk lid to it.
Yeah, so there is some parts missing and shit.
I'm shaking and grinding, trying to see if I can make it happen. You know what I mean? It's with the history of it and it being off the records for so long, I have to find somebody that can go deep, deep, deep and find the records because, you know, a lot of times they erase a lot of stuff out of normal directories, or maybe somebody tell me whose name it was in so I can search for that name in general. Because if there's a name that you know, you can search for that name. But if you just don't have any names, they're not going to just give you a list. I mean, you have to know somebody, but they're not going to just give you a list.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense. But I mean, for sure, you got to make sure you compromise that shit, you know, because people, have you ever had any scammers hit you up and try and fuck you over or some shit?
Oh, man, all the time. I mean, shit. Game recognizes game. A motherfucker could fly down in his goddamn UFO and drop in front of my house and spit his game. I'm gonna spit it back at his ass and fly off with the space machine. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, fuck that. Nah, people try all kinds of shit, you know, but I'm no sucker. You know what I mean? I've been around for a long time. And if you're gonna put game on me, you know, you're gonna have some real game. Your best bet is to approach me being real. You know what I mean? save the game, just be yourself. You know what I mean? Because I've pretty much seen it all. I heard it all. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
You know, I'd like to do people. The reason I started my podcast and stuff is because there's a lot of hate in the game. The shit's fucking disgusting, bro. People just teach each other that it's a dick rider to compliment another dude, all that other shit. You know what I mean? It takes a strong individual to recognize somebody else is doing good and give them some praise for it. You know what I mean? I have no problem doing it. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't say, I mean, there's a lot of top guys in the game, and I say I can hang with anybody in the game. You know what I mean? But that isn't really my mission to do. But I do have a valid voice to say everybody's the motherfucking same, bro. I know that you hear it all different kinds of ways, but I mean, under the skin, we're all the same. I don't give a fuck. You're Mexican, black, Chinese, fucking. It doesn't matter. You can be from the space. You know what I mean? Whatever color you are, it's all the same. None of us are any different. You know what I mean? We all got moms. We all want the best for our families and our children. You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with that. I hate that people judge each other just off the way that they look. You know what I mean? Like a dude will ride by, and I've heard it. Other dudes like, oh man, fuck that dude. You know what I mean? Blah, blah. They don't even know that dude. You know, they're just hating because his shit look nice. You know what I mean? Like, why are you going to say that? Yeah. Oh, he ain't never in the streets. He's in the streets today, though. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, you know, I don't, there's no one in California, you know, I mean, there's one person, but he's this bitch ass dude. But you know what I mean? I'm saying on the streets of lowriders, people have respect in the streets. There's nobody that I have anything against, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? I want to see everybody win, and I'm not in competition with anybody. I'm not pocket watching you. You could be doing better than me, and I'm not going to feel envious. You know what I mean? I could have put you on from the dirt, and you go up to the sky, and I'm not going to look at you and feel like you owe me anything. You know what I mean? If you feel like you owe me anything, that's on you. You know what I mean? But I don't feel like you owe me anything. I didn't do it for that. I did that because I want to see you win. So I reach out to different people from different car clubs, different races, you know what I mean? Just to show, like, you know, 30 minutes of getting to know somebody may change your entire outlook. You know what I mean? You may see that dude in the street and have some kind of bitterness for him. Then you hear his interview. Later on, you think, shit, that motherfucker's dope as fuck. Or he's like me. I might fuck with him next time I see him. Or, you know, whatever you might have in common with the dude. And that's like my mission. You know what I mean? Show people that are dope on the streets, musicians, artists, low riding. You know what I mean? All the different low riders. And I'm doing a bunch of different stuff I'm not talking about. But, you know how that goes. You don't speak it until it's happening, because then you might jinx it or something like that. Or someone might say, oh, he's talking himself up. You know what I mean? I already get enough hate for no goddamn reason. I have dudes DM me death threats and shit, bro. I'm like, you don't even know me. Not that I'm scared of you whatsoever, but you don't even know me to hate me. What the fuck are you talking about? And then I've had people say, you know, they judge me from whatever I've said. I'm like, bro, like, if you take my post serious, you got a fucking problem, man. It's all about fun. It's just having fun. But like I said to them all, you could try what you're thinking. You know what I mean? Don't tell me what you're going to do to me. Just do it and see how it works out for you. Like, I'm not worried about anybody, man. My karma's good. You know what I mean? However, if somebody has some hate in their motherfucking heart, you know what I mean? They can either swallow that shit or act on it. To me, it's no different.
Hell yeah. No, man, everything, I had to let you finish that whole thing because my shit's the same thing, like it's about putting people, giving people, a platform to speak on and really tell their story because people don't know what the fuck that person's about. They just know them as what they see, but they have to hear that story, before they can even, I mean, you can't judge nobody, but you need to, before you start saying some bullshit, like here you
Bro,
go, you can listen to this shit right here.
yeah, when I got out of prison, my buddy, his name's Josh Bernard, good friend of mine. I've known him since I was younger. We went to hang out, and he had a nice car. He had nice clothes, nice watch. You know what I mean? Nice house. It was all his shit. And I had just gotten out of prison, and I'm like, damn, bro, what do you do for work? And he said, man, I'm a hairdresser. And I swear, I was like, bro, you're a fag? That was my first. That was my first, thing to say because I didn't know any guys that were hairdressers. He's like, bro, you know what I mean? I get so many chicks, it's unfucking real. Think about it. I'm around hot chicks all day, working with them, making them feel beautiful. You run it, you meet a lot of people or they have friends they introduce you, blah, blah. So I was like, what? I'm going to try it. He says, look, come to my salon. I'm going to get you a couple shirts and a couple pairs of jeans and you can wash hair. I'm going to show you how to do it. So I started washing hair there. And then I started like getting tips and stuff. And I mean, I've been a hustler my whole life. I've never been Scarface. There's been times I've made thousands. There's been times I've made $10. You know what I mean? Like, but I was always hustling, trying to get it. And I started to learn from hairdressing, like, damn, you can make a lot of money. You look nice all day. You clean. You're in the air conditioning. It's not super hard. It's kind of like an artsy style deal. And I've always had art in me, you know what I mean? Drawing and bullshit. I'm no Picasso, but I do enjoy the shit,
Yeah.
And so I was like, fuck it. Dude, I went to the hoodest hair school there was in all of Houston. And I fucking signed up there. And dude, it was so cool. All the black girls were like family, man. I became friends with all of them. The people that owned the school were like, bro, clock in and clock out. Go have fun. We don't give a fuck. About 2 months into it, Paul Mitchell bought my school. Really? So then it was like super strict. You had to come every time. You were getting no free hours. You really had to study. And it was a trip. But for like $7,000, I got a $30,000 education.
Mm-hmm.
And they're so strict and they're so repetitive that I became a really good hairdresser. And I wouldn't have from this other place. You know what I mean? I would have just ended up getting my license and then learned from my boy. But the truth was I learned from the school. So I came out and I was really good. So, dude, I did hair for a while. And there's these clowns, dude, that try to clown me about being a hairdresser or how I dress. Like, bro, when there was some days I wore, Cortez and jeans, but 9 times out of the 10, I wore a nice button up, some nice pants, nice shoes. You know what I mean? Because you're in the beauty industry, you're supposed to make people feel pretty. So you have to look good. You know what I mean? Like people don't understand that shit. Like, bro, do you not dress up when you take your wife out, bro? Do you wear a fucking Dodgers jersey or something? You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. Like, why people are so fucking like worried about you that it's unreal. I mean, if they spent the haters spent half their time just focusing on hustling as they do hating on motherfuckers, they'd have no money problem. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's but then again, fuck them in the little bitch asses because if you didn't have haters, you wouldn't have the advertisement. A hater will tell 100 people when somebody that fucks with you will tell 10. You know what I mean? Like the hater's like so insistent and so driven to make somebody else see you like they see you that they'll tell them anything. You know what I mean? Half the time I just tell people to tell the motherfuckers, tell them to say it to me or fucking shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? And if you're my homie, don't tell me what they said. Tell me what you did to their ass for saying it. You know what I mean? Because I would slap the shit out of somebody for talking about one of my friends in my presence that's not there. That's mandatory. That's how I've always lived my life. I'm not going to let somebody disrespect somebody in my presence. If I'm going to do that, that's just as bad as talking about them,
Yeah.
Like the whole hate and fucking backstabbing and smiling in the face and then stabbing them in the back type shit. That's like become cool. What happened to the days of being a gentleman and living by a code, not telling on each other? Think about that. When someone says don't do the crime if you can't do the time, it's just a saying and a rhyme. But if you really think on that shit, that's deep. Because if you think, if I shoot this man, I'm probably going to get 20 years of life. can you really just do 20 years? Are you young enough to be able to afford to lose 20 years minimum of your life and still come back out on the streets? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot to it. Like, I did 8 years in prison, and people glamorize prison a lot, you know what I mean? Or they talk it up. It's not quite as bad as the movies make it, but the bad parts are being away from your family, your mother getting sick when you're in there, another dude taking a shit in the hot summer fucking day while you're in this little tiny cell the size of a shitty closet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, there's the food. There's so many hard things about being in there. It's a nightmare. But it's not like, I mean, I didn't know anyone that went to prison when I went to prison. So I didn't really have anyone to like ask. The only thing I knew was like that movie Bad Boys with Sean Penn. I don't know if you ever saw it, but I was like, my idea was probably like, I'm going to have to try to fight rape or some shit like that. You know what I mean? I mean, that's honestly, that's being real.
Yeah, yeah.
Shit, bro. It's nothing like that. It really isn't. People will test you and you have to show that you have heart. But there's so many punks in that motherfucking place, dude. It's unreal, for one. And then number two, it starts off usually as like taking something from somebody or slapping them and then doing nothing about it. And then it slowly escalates to, or owing somebody or, all different kinds of shit could get you. But I mean, it really wasn't like I thought it was going to be honest with you. I mean, there's so much processing and fucking, they dehumanize you on the way in. You know what I mean? You're no longer your name, you're that number, and you know what I mean? And the whole processing and the way they shuffle you around is very similar to how they would probably herd goats or fucking cows, you know what I mean? Ship you all over, disorient you, you're been up for so fucking long, and then you end up into some whatever prison they seem fit for you and your crime and all that other shit. It's a trip, man.
Yeah, no shit, man. That's fucking crazy, but it
And
sounds
obviously
like
prisons are different in California. My time was done in Texas. So, I mean, I know that there's different scenarios, I'm just speaking on my personal experience.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Because I mean, being in all these different, because there is different prisons and shit, because California, that's really a lot more crowd and a lot more people. It's really overpacked and shit. And then fucking
Yeah, it
prisons.
is there too. You'll be, they'll have 40 men in a fucking cell that's supposed to house 20.
Jesus fucking
50,
shit.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
It's
fucking ridiculous, man. So when you came out, when I guess did you get into lowriding?
When I was like 16.
Also,
Obviously, I didn't have
before that.
Yeah, way before then. I couldn't afford anything really nice, and goddamn this fucking thing. And then obviously, I didn't have any cars when I was in prison. I mean, I did have some actually when I went to prison, but my mom, I was always the breadwinner. My mom or girlfriend who I had at the time or something would usually sell the car, do whatever, So it just depended. And I didn't ever have anything nice until my late 30s. I say all that all the time. I mean, even doing hair, I never had money like that. So I was going out to eat different dinners that I had never been to before and buying clothes, obviously, that I had never heard of. You know what I mean? Like, fucking, I was trying to do what everybody else was doing. My boy was telling me what to get. I didn't fucking know. You know what I mean? I didn't know any brands I was in there for 3.5 years. I got out for 14 months, and then I went back for 4.5 years. Damn. So that 14 months was like a quick flash, you know what I mean? And I was in college and trying to do right. I just fell back into it because, I mean, fuck, everybody needs money, you know what I mean? And if you don't have any way to get it, you go back. I thought, man, I'll just do this until I get through college, and then I'll stop and be, do this multimedia web design or whatever. But I didn't make it. I ended up getting caught up again.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't seem like you can do that, forever. You know what I'm saying? So like,
fuck no, there's no retired drug dealers. You know what I mean? That's why I do this car shit and fucking sell all these t-shirts and all my hustles and flip rides and stuff. Because I mean, I used to flip rides and post them all on Instagram and stuff like that. But now when I flip rides, I just have my homeboy flip them. I have them post them on OfferUp. Nobody knows they're coming from me. You know what I mean? So I can quietly do my motherfucking business and try to hustle all the cars I can. And I don't have to use my Instagram to do it. I'm not like putting my stamp on every car,
Yeah.
So
what is your main job then? Like right now,
That's pretty much it. Flipping rides. I mean, I trade the stock market a lot. Dude, I don't have one main job. I've got like 50. My wife makes, dude, my wife makes jewelry. I sell t-shirts and hoodies, but I probably sell, no lie, probably 100 to 300 hoodies and shirts a week. So, I
really,
mean,
damn.
yeah, business is booming. You know what I mean? And probably over 1,000 stickers. I mean, it's surprising how well things have taken off, because as much hate as there is in the game, there's a lot of love in the game too. And if you're good to people and people see that you're a decent person, they'll back you and support you. You know what I mean?
How did you start getting, like getting your brand and everything out there like that?
Just low ride, man. I just got nice cars and stunted them and stayed in the streets. You know what I mean? There was a time that a lot of people weren't driving show quality cars in the street. And at that time, I ended up trading a 58 to this dude named Steven Hernandez for his 62. And then I just fixed that car all up and made it roadworthy and dipped that bitch, and people were surprised to see it, because the car was, it's like a piece of artwork. I basically redid everything in the car, you know what I mean, is function wise, but the look of the car was all designed by this guy, Steven Hernandez, and he never put it out on the street. So everybody saw me driving it, you know what I mean? And everyone saw it as my car. Yeah. But I always would tell anyone that asked, this guy Steven Hernandez is the one that built it, because I don't try to take credit for anybody's shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, it was my car once I bought it. You know what I mean? Fuck whoever did it. You know what I mean? It's really my car, but I still was respectful enough to give the dude a shout out. You know what I mean? And always tell people, you know what I mean? And at that time he had like a chroming and engraving business too. So I would try to like refer business or whatever, I always try to keep a relationship in good standings. I mean, I'm not here to try to fuck anyone over. If we can collaborate and make some money together, that'd be wonderful. If not, that's cool too. You know what I mean? Every friend doesn't have to be somebody that you make money with. The other people become valuable in other ways. You know what I mean? I have a lot of friends that I hold very valuable that I make zero money with. You know what I mean? But I showed a lot of them how to make money or how to move up and level up. You know what I mean? That's my main thing. If I fuck with you, that's what I want to do. I want you to level up. I want you to do better. I mean, I want you to have more. I want you to be able to feed your family. I mean, what's wrong with that? And if I ever did really like super blow up, which, I doubt that's ever going to happen, but let's just, say if I did, I'm going to be the same dude. I'm not going anywhere. I'm still going to hang out with the same homies. I'm not going to try to be Mr. fucking, out in the limelight type shit. I do my business and I come back and I hang with my boys and my family, because that's what I want to do with my life. You know what I mean? I want to do some low ride and hang out. I'd like to do some traveling, but it's been so weird lately that I've kind of held back from it. But when things open up, I'd like to get my family out and go do some really fun stuff, because I am tired of just sitting around. But COVID obviously slowed my money up just as well as it did everybody else's. So
how did it impact you? Just because nobody was buying shit?
I mean, fuck, they completely shut down productions. All the productions that I were doing were like guerrilla style, no permits, you know what I mean? Running wild and fucking just trying to get through with the scene without getting in trouble type stuff. And there was, actually some of those were better paying than like the actual big productions I had, because, there was just so much involved, because we were like hitting different scenes and, very quick and aggressive type shoots, and we'd get out of there because it was so funny, because if you would be in a group, cops would pull up and be like, ungroup, like space out and all this other shit, or it was like super, mask and, so we just, it made a huge difference. It absolutely made a huge difference. My father-in-law, my wife's dad, he owns a studio called Showbiz Studios in Van Nuys, and he has a sound stage, and a lot of people rent it out for rehearsals and all that other stuff. Well, COVID for him completely blew up his business, because if you noticed, concerts went virtual, right? So you could go watch them on your computer. Well, he had the studio that they were shooting a lot of them in. So that's how it is.
Oh, okay. Yeah, see, I feel that, man. Yeah, at least you still were able to somewhat do some shit, and continue to make money and, not have nothing coming in, obviously, because you have.
Right. Now, I mean, it wasn't nothing, but it wasn't what I was accustomed to the previous years. You know what I mean? So yeah, it made a huge difference. And I used to do a lot of stuff low key. Uh, people think that I show everything on Instagram. It's absolutely not true. I mean, I had a bunch of stock cars and different types of cars that I were renting out for different productions. No one even knew I owned them. I was doing it with another person, and I like to deal with business partners if they can keep their end of the deal. It seems to be a problem for people holding up their end of the deal, and for some reason, people always think that they deserve more than their agreed upon deal. For some reason, everybody wants to fucking negotiate, but I'm gonna get mine regardless. I've always been a hustler. I mean, I could open a hair salon overnight. You know what I mean? If that's what I wanted to do. I mean, I have many things that I can do, but right now, I'm just trying to focus on family, getting my cars all in the right shape. You know what I mean? I'm doing the podcast. The podcast to me comes out of my pocket. I have a production team. It's set up. They're editing. Every time I do it, it costs me around $500 just to get that episode out. That's coming out of my pocket. It's getting very expensive.
I mean, that's just what you got to do for now, though, but eventually money will come in because I
You do.
really like it. I really do, because you have the intro, and then on some of the episodes, you have little mini clips while you're telling the story.
Right.
You got the microphone. I don't know if you go into the studio where you do it and shit, but
I actually bought those microphones and the Rodecaster, whatever. I just bought all this shit because my boys told me what to buy and I bought it.
Yeah, and it's been coming out nice. I really like it.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I don't like to borrow anything from anyone. I don't like to be dependent on anybody. If I ask for help and somebody offers, cool. You know what I mean? It's rare for me too, but I'm not offended if no one helps. It doesn't really bother me because I don't expect this shit. You know what I mean? But
for sure,
I like to be able to do anything that I could possibly do myself. I like to do. I mean, I wish I could actually do all my hydraulics. That's one thing I need to learn is just how to cut and install cars and wrap them and all that shit. Because if I could do it for myself, it'd be a lot cheaper, a lot quicker too, because I wouldn't have to wait in line. I could just get right in and do my own stuff, Yeah. And I can do a lot of stuff. I mean, I've never been like a super handy type for some reason. I have like this dyslexia of direction for, I don't know why. Like I can't figure out which way to screw on bolts. I have to like really study it, or if it's like flip flop in reverse, it takes me a really long time.
Shit, I'm the same way, man. I'll be doing that shit too.
I try, you know what I mean? But I can't say that. I'm not going to try to say that I am that type of guy. I wish I was, but no. I need people to help so far.
Yeah, I feel that. What is your process, I guess, when you're flipping cars, from, buying it, to selling them, to renting them, because there's a lot of shit that goes into that, right?
I mean, I just find the cars I want and buy them. And then every time I see a car, I have a certain vision of it. I get it close to that vision or, relatively, under the budget that I can get it to. And then I enjoy them. And then a lot of times I don't even try to sell them. People will just hit me up and come buy them because they want them, And, I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, wheels always first. If I like to put on 13s, no matter what. I don't really, not a big wheel guy. I mean, just like, so, you see a lot of cars and they look like shit. A lot of people don't have taste. And I have a vision, and I've always liked my style, and it seems to catch on with other people because every time I've done one, people are real quick to get it. So, lucky on that there. But
go ahead.
No, that's it.
Oh, I was gonna say, how do people, I guess, because you rent out your shit too, you know what I'm saying? So like, how do people like get in contact with you, like, or how does that even come about, because I seen some shit you did with Snoop Dogg.
A lot of directors a lot of directors and producers have my phone number now because of stuff that I've done previously. And then I've always been able to make sure whatever they need happens. So that sense of security sticks with people. So they always hit me up. And then sometimes they just see me wildly on Instagram or, out in the streets. I've had people come up to me like, yo, I'm a rapper, see me just rolling around and, hey, this and that. And depending on the car is depending on the price. I can get people different cars for different price, but if they want mine, you know, they have to pay.
Yeah, for sure.
The minimum.
Oh, go ahead.
Now, the minimum I've done so far with my yellow one is $3,500 a shoot. You know,
Yeah.
so
That's a nice
I
car.
mean, I have thrown a few bones to different friends and people that I actually fuck with. You know what I mean? But as far as like business wise, no, that's how it's going.
Yeah, because you got to know your worth on that shit, you know, because people will pay that price.
You really do. And then sometimes people want a lot of the car. They want to pay you fucking nothing and they want you to use a car that I don't think they quite realize the expense of hydraulics and things that could go wrong, you know,
Yeah.
and that has to be, in order for me to do something, whatever they want me to do, I have to know that in the amount I'm getting, that's covered by a long shot, you know, or I'm not going to risk it. It's not important to me. I've actually told different productions and just said, look, we'll dip right now. Fuck this shit. We don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? To us, I really was doing it as a favor. The amount of money that you're offering me, I mean, I fucking smoked that weed a day. You know what I mean? So we can dip, or you could fucking, it's going to go however we want it to, you know?
Yeah.
But, you know, I mean, I try to keep the peace and be a good business person. And, you know, but if somebody wrongs us in any type of way or, you know, gets out of line, I immediately check that shit because I'm not going to let somebody treat anyone in my club or myself fucked up when we're doing them a favor at, you know, peanut pay rate, you know?
Yeah.
I won't even accept those type of jobs just because, I mean, my time's too important. Half the time I'm at one of those, I could be making 2-3 times that amount of money somewhere else.
See, that's good that you recognize that, you know, because that goes into with knowing your worth as well, because you need to know that shit because, like you said, the time that you're spending with them, you could be making more, you know, so you got to factor that in when you're doing other kind of shit, you know, so I like that you do that, you know.
That's absolutely for sure.
How did you know, I guess I seen you had a lowrider. Was it your lowrider that was in the Snoop Dogg and Swizz Beats?
Oh yeah, that's
song?
the one I was talking about, the 62. That's one that started getting me really well known. Like I've been doing, I just turned 48 on the 25th, but I've been doing this shit since I was 16, off and on prison. You know what I mean? But you know, you can subtract those years if you want to get technical, because I was just sitting in prison. But you know, I mean, I've always been riding and had a car. But you know, with the blast of social media and Instagram and all that other stuff, I mean, I was able to spread out a little further. So I'll say I attribute a lot of it to social media that kind of blew me up. But I mean, I stay on the streets. I'll stun on anybody. You know what I mean? My cars will drive anywhere. So it's not like, you know, I don't understand what it is. I just keep chopping it up and doing myself, not worried about anybody else.
Yeah. You mentioned your car club too. I looked into it a little bit, you know, and so you're like the, you know, kind of co-founder of that?
No, I'm the founder of that shit.
You
it's
are
my car club. Yeah.
What is the name?
Plato Plomo. I used to have a 6'4" name that. When I sold it, I wanted to keep the name.
Yeah.
So I just named my car club that. I always had a lot of, you know, some people like Superman and some people like fucking Batman. I like Pablo Escobar and those type of people. You know what I mean? I like innovators. I obviously always liked the drug business. You know what I mean? I started off as a young kid. When I lived in Houston, and I would go to Mexico and I would trade guns for pounds of weed. I'd buy those Tech 22s and they'd give me 2 pounds of the Sensimilla, the sticky green fucking bud, and I'd, you know, have it run back here. And that's what I did for my younger years. I mean, that's all I knew. So I mean, you hear stories, and I mean, there's other people outside of him. I mean, obviously, all the mob movies you like, you know, Scarface, and I didn't really have a lot of role models, so I thought those kind of dudes were cool. I mean, I've lived quite a bit of I mean, I would say a shady life, or you know, a seedy life. I mean, I've always had to hustle and grind. You know, my mom did the best she could, but I had a shit father. He took off and left us. You know. And there was times that we had it good with my mom, and then there were some times we weren't. Kind of depend on our boyfriend and the ups and downs of his life at the time or whatever. Yeah. But you know, I just always wanted to go out and get it for myself. I didn't like to be told no. I mean, he wouldn't even give me money for lunch at school. or high school lunch. If I did get lunch money, he'd give me $2. What the fuck are you going to get for that? You know what I mean? Like, he was just a hater. I just wanted to have what I wanted. So I went out and got it. I figured out how to do it. I mean, fuck. I sold dumbass kids oregano and shit when I was little, you know what I mean? Whatever it took. I mean, fuck. I was just as grimy as the next man, you know, whatever. I mean, I didn't give a fuck about the consequences, didn't give a fuck about what they thought about me. I just wanted to make sure that I was eating, you know, and it's always continued that way, except for when I hit my 30s. I basically learned through my own self that it's better to be a good person than it is to be a piece of shit. You know, it feels a lot better to lift somebody up than it does to tear them down, you know? And that's just, it stuck with me. And I just continuously do that. I mean, some people get fooled, you know what I mean? I tell them all the time, don't be fooled by the smooth taste. I mean, yeah, I'm a family man. I'm older, you know what I mean? But I mean, that person's still alive in there. You know what I mean? I don't want to be pushed to that because I don't want to live that way. I don't want to feel that way. I just want to live my motherfucking life. You know what I mean? People, their opinion of me, I don't even give a fuck. They can like it, love it, hate it, and fucking shove it up their ass for all I care. I really don't care, you know?
Yeah, because life's better that way when you don't have those worries.
Absolutely. I'm trying to do for people that want to come up, you know what I mean? And teach people a better way. And the people that don't want to learn, then I don't give a fuck, move on then. You know what I mean? Don't let me waste my energy on you. That's all a hater does. It just shows me don't fuck with you because then I don't have to waste my energy on a person like you. You know what I mean? Some envious. Yeah. You don't compete. You don't feel, if you feel like you're competitive with the people that you have around you, then you don't really have any business being around those people. That's just like someone going, I'm not going to do your podcast because I have a podcast. Like, why would I not do that shit? I mean, fuck, dude. I want people to do my podcast. I mean, there's been people that I've asked to do my podcast that haven't agreed to come on there. It's all good with me. I ain't holding no hard feelings.
Yeah,
I don't take it any type of personal way either. It's all good. I don't even give a fuck. You know, it's cool.
Yeah, same here.
But I asked them on there because people that I like in the game, you know what I mean? Whether they want to come on there or not, that's up to them. But they don't have podcasts or anything like that. But I'm going to do for people like I want to be done. And hopefully that my blessings don't get blocked in life, because it's true. You can have the wrong people around you. You can make one wrong move that could block something good that's going to come from you. I mean, you have to be very calculated of who you're around, every move you make. I mean, that's just being how it is. In these days, if you're doing good, people don't respect you. They see that they want to like try to get you in some type of way or knock you off of that, you know, and it's your job to recognize that, keep going, stay up, you know, stay above the motherfuckers so they can't get to you. Yeah. So that's, you know, that's how you do it. And the people that want to get to you and want to do it, fucking lend them a hand and until you see that either they learn it and take it off for themselves, or they can't do it and you keep having to keep reaching a hand down to them. You got to let them go.
Yeah. No, I see what you mean, man. Because I mean, you know, that kind of goes into like, you know, with business, you know, being in business with people that have, you know, what is one thing that you've done in business where you kind of got fucking screwed or something out of a deal, or, you know, something went wrong that you can give people advice to where they can't make that same mistake?
I mean, don't ever give anybody your motherfucking money up front. I'll tell you that. You know what I mean? Never give anybody something out of your pocket for them to put in their pocket to walk off. And if someone's not bringing just as much as you to the table, then don't do business with them, or agree to a better percentage where it's not 50-50, because a lot of times people come at you and like, I guess from Instagram, me having cars and stuff, people obviously think I'm like rich or some shit like that. So people come to me with like these dumbass ideas. They want to try to make money off of the money that I don't even fucking have. They think that I do. And they want to like use what they think that I have money wise for us to make money. Like, just because you have a skill or a certain thing to offer and no money, I'm not going to do business with you. If you want to do a fucking $20,000 business, you bring 10 and I'll bring 10 and we can go from there. You know what I mean? And everything 50 in and 50 out is the only way I'll do business with somebody. Yeah. You know, and if
it goes both ways.
Absolutely. If it comes in where they're bringing $5,000 and I got $10,000, I'm taking 75% of the business. You know what I mean? So I want 75% of the profits and everything.
Yeah.
You get your 25%. I mean, you can't, and you start business with a lot of people and they don't want to put forth the effort that you put forth. I mean, but they want to get paid the same.
Yeah.
How's that make sense? You got to go into business with somebody like-minded, the same vision, and hopefully you guys continue on the same page, because it's rare. It's better to do it yourself. I mean, I've helped a lot of people and turned people on to different businesses and fucking how to make money and all this. People have fronted me dope before, weed, or people have like, my buddy told me to go to hair school. He didn't go to hair school for me. You know what I mean? I've been pointed in the right direction, but everything I've always had to do it myself. Have you ever noticed rich people, they have like those, what are they called? Motivational days where you pay to go listen to them talk. Rich people are getting rich off of poor people to listen to them to tell them how to get rich, and they're never going to get rich. It's just like a fucking scam,
Yeah, when the scheme or some shit.
Yeah, when you could have took that money you gave that dude and put it into something and maybe made your own money. Like, just do your own thing the best you can, But no rich people are coming over going, hey, Lloyd, let me put you on in any type of way. Nobody ever does that shit,
Yeah, I feel like it'd be better to put someone on some game, on how to do something, on their own, how, like your buddy did with hair school, he put you on some shit, or, because it's better than,
that's
just
the type of shit you should do to people. You teach them how to fish. You don't give them the fish. And that's basically what that dude did.
Yeah, because if you do, then, like say someone gave you $1 million, you would just gave that shit. But you could just blow through all that shit and you'll never get it back. But if you know how they teach you how to get that $1 million, you can get that back multiple times,
Fuck yeah.
And you ain't got yeah, you know what I'm saying? So you ain't it's better to do that than, just receive shit. You got to earn that shit,
I agree 100%, man. People are a trip.
So you do got your own website, right?
Yeah, I do. I have my YouTube, Lowrider with Lloyd. My Instagram is Longbeach_Lloyd. It's Longbeach_LLOYD. I have you can click on, there's links in there to my shops and all kinds of shit.
Yeah, I've seen that one. You have like lighters, the hoodies, right? And the
hoodies, t-shirts, stickers, air fresheners, just normal little stuff.
How did you even get into that? Like what is your process on that? Because do you come out with different collections and shit each year or something?
I have this artist Pooh that does a lot of whatever I ask him, I give him the idea and he draws it up. And then this homeboy of mine, he goes by Fish. He owns that Stay Anchored company. He just motivated me to do all this shit. He saw a market for it, so I did it.
Yeah, I like that, man, because that's another source of income coming in, you know what I'm saying? More money, that you can do.
Absolutely.
But it's like,
I make a lot with crypto too, man. A lot of people, I posted and made people. I had one guy come and tell me I made him 400 G's and he's changing his life behind it.
Jesus fucking shit.
Straight up. And this was right when the crypto thing took off. But I don't like to post a lot about it because, if you give someone a bone, they don't like it. They're going to come back and bitch to you about it. I don't like that, so. But every day I'm making money off of crypto. I mean, I go up, ride it up and down. A lot of people say I should stay in it and hold for long-term profits, but my deal is I like to make $1,000 a day if I can.
Yeah, that's good right there. That's a good.
It's not like that every day, you know what I mean? But I try to with the crypto. I mean, I want to set my kids up.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all I do, homie. I grind and try to do the best I can. You know what I mean? Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
Yeah,
that's Instagram for you. No one's posting and loses. They just show you the highlight reel.
For real, man. That's true.
Or the losses, whatever, mine.
But what you do though, like with the low riding, it's kind of like a big old puzzle. You know what I'm saying? Like because with the low riding, the flipping cars led into doing rentals. It led into you having your own website for like clothing, lighters, and all that shit. Hoodies and all that.
Just let it happen organically. I'm not trying to force anything. Whatever happens, happens. I mean,
But I mean, like even that with the podcast too. You started that, so it's just like another piece to the puzzle is what I call that shit.
Yeah, it is, man. That thing's doing really good. I'm actually surprised that it took off as well as it did. You know what I mean? But I'm glad that it did. I just, you know, a lot of people, I didn't know if they'd follow into it, but I've got music and, you know, lowriders, just different shit, man. Influential people, just people that I fuck with around the city too. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm down to interview people outside the city, but I got to work with these sponsors before I start filling out any more episodes because I'm really not trying to fucking just come out of pocket anymore.
How do you even get a hold of these sponsors, or they get a hold of you?
They just hit me up, ask me different questions and shit like that. Some of them want to meet with me, but I'm busy as fuck, man. When I get any free time, I like to fuck with my family, so it's hard to get at me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel that, man. But
I'd
see,
rather hang out with them.
like this interview, you know, we could do it like we can just do it from home. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's what's nice. You don't even have to leave the crib, you know, with the family and everything. Go drive an hour, come back, deal with traffic, you know, all that bullshit.
Yeah,
You just
no,
do it
for
like
sure.
this, you know.
Absolutely. There's a little bit more convenient.
For real, because then you can do it with everybody all over the fucking world, you know.
Absolutely.
But yeah, man. I mean, if did you have anything else you wanted to add or before we end or anything? Leave people with anything?
No, homie, stay up, G. My pleasure. You know
Hell
what I
yeah.
mean? I don't want to stay up, but yeah, I hope I touched on something. Hopefully, maybe someone will hear at least a couple words of the shit and fucking feel it, take it to heart because, you know, I'm just being real as I can be. Motherfuckers can take it how they want it, you know? I mean, good or bad.
Yeah, I feel it. I like it, man. I appreciate you coming on and taking out, you know, an hour out of your day. You know, you got 24, you spend one with me, man. I appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, my man. Appreciate you. I'll holler at you.
All right, for sure, man. See you. Thank you.
Later.